Lights, camera, action. Take 3. All right, we are back. Yes, I was just practicing. You know, practice makes perfect. Practice, practice, practice. And I was really seeing out there who of you are lip readers and could transcribe what I was saying onto the stream. So if you were a lip reader, I was hoping that you would say, he is saying this. Like you would put that little like closed caption that they have on the TV and the movies. But no, I guess none of you have that talent to lip read. So that experiment now is done. I will not go ahead with that anymore. I wanted just to see, in case I needed some lip reading done, who I could call upon. And hey, I had a huge giveaway at the beginning. I was giving away all my perfect cards. All you had to do was say which one you wanted, but the time expired. So I can't give you those cards anymore. I was giving away my Jackie Robinson, my Mickey Mantle, but no, you guys didn't want them. Time expired. Welcome, wherever you may be watching. It is still in the morning on the West Coast. It is early afternoon on the East Coast. For those of you that are watching in Belgium and Germany, hey, it's early evening for you. I hope you had a great Monday. And for those 2 viewers I have in Asia, what are you still doing up? It's 2 a.m. Isn't it time for bed? Got to get some sleep. Probably have work in the morning, or maybe you don't. Anyway, welcome for everyone that is joining this stream. Yeah, Gorgo and I know that sometimes when you reach a certain age, especially on a Monday, you know, you might have some little glitches. So I was up late last night preparing for the stream, getting some slides ready, getting kind of all the ducks in order of what I wanted to do. And so I muted my microphone. And then when I came on today, I muted the software that was on and I turned that on, but I didn't click the actual physical microphone. And that kind of helps sometime. But you know what? Like I said, just seeing who of you could lip read out there, and none of you passed that test. Gorgo, that's why I don't stream on Monday. Well, funny story. I never started streaming on Mondays. And there were a few people in the chat that said, hey, we need more Monday streamers. There aren't enough. And I think that might have been when EVC was on holidays as well, and he wasn't streaming. So there was like one streamer on Mondays. And so I decided, okay, yeah, I'll take the hit. I'll come in on a Monday morning and start streaming. So, hey, I took the hit for you. So if I have my microphone muted once in a while, that's my payback. But hey, coffee is on. Today we have a nice hazelnut oak kind of flavor from Nespresso with butterscotch coffee syrup and some hazelnut coffee creamer as well, to go along with a little bit of half and half and just a teaspoon of honey. Because hey, honey's good, especially for people, baby boomers, Gen Xers. Honey's good for everyone. Honey is the elixir of life. So have a teaspoon of honey. Makes the medicine go down. All right, episode, as I was showing here, it is episode number, what are we at here? 52 already. Honey doesn't work on keto. Okay, everyone except Gorgo have some honey, yes. So, or anyone else on keto. Episode 52, today's sporting. The Jays and the Leafs, just for Fofi. Just for Fofi 84. I figured, hey, we got to celebrate some of these followers from all across the world. And Fofi's from the Toronto region, I believe. But I think he's a Habs fan. So I might have got him a little upset with all this Toronto gear. Maybe not. Maybe he is a Leafs fan. I'm not a Leafs fan, but I do have a Leafs jersey. And, you know, once a year, twice a year, I figure, you know what? I own it. I might as well put it on. Yeah, Fofi says, yeah. Love the Jays, just not a fan of the Maple. I figured you were a Habs fan, from what I remember correctly. Wow. Been married for 45 years. Gorgo, you have a non-caloric. Oh, Gorgo, don't get me laughing on a Monday because it's bad enough. I could have had a 2-hour muted episode if I wasn't reading the chat. It would have been the best silent film stream ever if I wasn't reading. So yeah, thank you for the comments. I'm sure your honey of 45 years has been the elixir of life for you. Absolutely, including many kids. I think he has 4 kids and like 8 or 9 grandkids. So yes, that honey has worked well for you. No, it's not sponsored by Lip Readers Anonymous. It's sponsored by Charlie Chaplin and City Lights and Modern Times, which, if you guys haven't watched those movies, you haven't lived. You haven't lived if you haven't watched silent films. Make a point of it. Charlie Chaplin, City Lights, Modern Times. If you thought me streaming was funny, watch Charlie Chaplin, the master of silent film. So I'm just trying to emulate my role models. And I've done it a few times now, but I think I need to move on to the talkies. Yes. And speaking of which, go see Babylon. Babylon is a great movie from the transition of talkies to or from silent films to talkies. So it's a really good film that shows what Hollywood was like, or their portrayal of Hollywood. Fact or fiction, we don't know. Brad Pitt's in it, a lot of other famous actors that you would recognize. Yeah, really worth seeing. Don't take the kids. I wouldn't recommend you take anyone that's probably under 18 years of age. A lot of graphic nudity and things like that. So really good time period piece. Babylon, probably going to be nominated for some Oscars coming up here. But yeah, had some silent film aspects. So see, I just got silent films on the mind right now. Harold Lloyd, yes, Harold Lloyd was another fantastic one. The iconic scene is him hanging off the clock. I'm not sure where that clock was, if that's in London or in the US, but he's like hanging off the big hand of the clock. Buster Keaton, another really good silent film star. There were a lot. It was an more innocent time period. You'd pay your nickel, you'd go to the Nickelodeon, and Gorgo probably remembers, going in, popping in that nickel, and flicking the little thing, and the light comes on. And no, Gorgo was not at the Nickelodeons. At least I don't think. Maybe his dad was. His dad, definitely his grandfather, if they were from the United States. But I think I heard Gorgo say that his father might have come overseas from the UK region, I believe. I think I heard him say that on his stream yesterday. But yeah, they were never that expensive or inexpensive. Why was it called the Nickelodeon? Or in Canada, they would call it the, wooden Nickelodeon, because we didn't have wooden nickels, but we had nickels with ridges on it, which were really strange in the 1950s and 60s. So anyway, welcome guys to episode number 52. Hey, Fofi, you just watched a couple of whose movies? Chaplin or Keaton or Arbuckle or Harold Lloyd? There are a lot of good ones. Jason says, my father was in a movie theater when Pearl Harbor was bombed. Oh, wow. Wow. And they turned the lights on and told everyone to go home. Yeah, that would have been a scary, scary moment. Anytime there's this sudden tragedy, whether it's a major shooting in a local area, a bomb going off, a threat of a bomb going off, it's scary. Having taught for over 30 years, our school had a few bomb threats phoned in, and let's face it, they didn't turn out to be serious, but you always have to take them serious. It could have been some, student, not wanting to do a test that day. Hey, there's a bomb in your school. And you always have to take those seriously. And we had to evacuate the building. We'd go to a different building, which was maybe half a kilometer away in a rural area. And we would stay there until things were clear, which usually took most of the day. Definitely a memory working in a movie theater when Pearl Harbor was bombed. And I haven't seen the movie Pearl Harbor. I'm probably one of the few that hasn't seen that movie. Shame on me as a history teacher. It's definitely one that I have to check out just to see the Hollywood portrayal of Pearl Harbor. Wolfie says that wasn't as bad as a theater experience as watching the film. Oh, okay. Maybe there's a reason I haven't watched Pearl Harbor yet. Thank you for that. Oh, so all three, Chaplin, Keaton, Lloyd. Yeah, I would probably classify them as the top three silent film actors. And there's so much hesitancy for kids to watch those old movies today. They think they're going to be boring, but believe me, they are much better than a lot of the movies with special effects. At least they had kind of a plot and you could use your imagination. And you never knew what the actor sounded like. And it was weird when Charlie Chaplin started doing talkies and you'd hear him in The Great Dictator and he's holding the earth and he's bouncing it around, in his satirical portrayal of Adolf. And it was weird watching the talkies after seeing him in so many silent films. So, hey, nice transition. See how I worked that? Making mistakes early in the stream, and then we get going talking about silent films, and maybe some of you will check them out. There's a method to my madness. Weather, how are we doing in your neck of the woods? What is your temperatures like? I know, Gorgo, Thursday, I think you had some major rain, possible tornadoes, kind of maybe not exactly where you were, but kind of within a state or two of where you were with some rain and nasty weather. Of course, California, southern, northern, getting hit hard by the rain, by the flooding. We are currently at -2. It's almost t-shirt weather. Yes, not quite short weather, but it's almost t-shirt weather. And that translates to 23 degrees Fahrenheit with a little bit of fog. So we're looking really nice for the next few days. In fact, on Saturday and Friday, we get above zero. Whoa, glad I'm not streaming on Friday or Saturday because that will be shorts weather, at least indoor shorts weather. Across this beautiful North American continent of ours, let's take a look at what some of the temperatures are, maybe where you are. We've got, of course, Miami, always one of the hot spots, 70 degrees, so that's a little cool. New Orleans, always at that 69 to 70 degrees. Dallas at 67. We've got Cubs fan Steve enjoying a nice 61 degrees. I know we've got an Oklahoma follower here. Can't remember who's from Oklahoma. They're at 60 degrees. Montgomery, Alabama. I think it's in Alabama, 60 degrees. LA at 56. And way down, the coldest registered temperature in North America, as it often is, Eureka. Eureka. And I know a lot of you probably don't know where Eureka is, so let me show you, because I always kind of mention it on the stream here. Here's Eureka, way up in a territory of Canada known as Nunavut. Nunavut, a lot of Aboriginal. It's probably 99% Inuit people that live up there, and a very barren part of the Inuit area. And that is where the coldest temperatures often are, especially at this time of year. A lot of different islands up there in northern part of Canada. It is one of the three territories. We have the Yukon, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. And there you see where Eureka is. In fact, maybe we can even get a close-up of what that area looks like. There we go. Yeah, I don't think it's as big as Cincinnati, Gorgo. Don't think it's as big as that. No, exactly, Gorgo, right? No one can tell if you're wearing shorts or even pants when you're streaming because it's always from the waist up. It's just like, anchormen on the news. Like, who knows? They could just be wearing their underwear. We don't know. We only get the top up. But yeah, I'm not going to give you guys that image. Gorgo and I do wear pants or, regular shorts. So erase that image from your memory. If you live in Southern Canada, have many Canadians ever been to Nunavut? Good question, Jason. I never have been. I haven't been too far north of where I am right now. There's a lot of oil in the northern regions, a lot of forestry, fishing, but not a lot have been to Nunavut. It's like I said, it's a mainly Inuit community that was kind of added to Canadian Confederation officially, Nunavut, in 1999. And it's a lot of snow, it's a lot of polar bears, some seal hunting. So yeah, there is some business and resource extraction that takes place up in this area. But in terms of settlements, like you see here, it's got a post office, it's got a few dwellings. You can see around here, but it's right on the edge of the water. Again, resource development. Looks like some oil trucks, looks like some containers that we have there. But yeah, not a very populated area. I don't know exactly the population of Nunavut. I guess you could Google that. It's probably less than a few thousand. And like I said, a lot of Inuit, or what we used to say Eskimos, because in Edmonton, where I am, we had the CFL team called the Edmonton Eskimos. And, back when that was acceptable language, that's what these people would be referred to as. They were the Eskimos of Canada. Of course, now we say Inuit, or we say Aboriginal, or even Indigenous to that area of Canada. So even Edmonton football team, the Edmonton Eskimos, changed their name 2 years ago, just like, Washington did, Cleveland, the baseball team. So that is, when I show you the coldest temperatures, that's where Eureka is, way up in the north. Not even as big as a small town where I grew up. Yeah, it is pretty isolated, Gorgo. And okay, I wear pants. Okay, I do wear pants. Gorgo says, speak for yourself. So just keep that camera high, Gorgo. Keep that camera high. Maybe even zoom in a little bit. It might be a little too far back for you. No way, Rob. Excellent. I love when you guys pull good cards. So you pulled the live perfect reliever, and your team. So yeah, there are, some of those live perfects can still play pretty good in the lower divisions. A lot of them, though, once you get to gold, yeah, they're not very useful. You need those other historicals, platinums, mission cards. And Ted McGinn, furthest north for you is Prince Rupert, BC. Yes, Prince Rupert. So just again to kind of zoom out on the map here, that little green area is where I'm from, right here in Alberta. And one time I measured, if I was to get to Gorgo around Cincinnati in Ohio, it would take me, I can't remember, I think 30 hours driving. So it's about a 30-hour drive to where Gorgo resides. And Prince Rupert, yeah, Prince Rupert is a little further in BC. I grew up in BC. My childhood was kind of in the Kamloops area. So I'm very familiar with British Columbia. It's cool when I see some perfect teams named Kamloops, because yeah, one of my hometowns. So Kamloops, Medicine Hat, kind of Edmonton area have been kind of my stomping grounds for most of my 50 plus years. And of course, BC, the further you go north, the more sparse it is in terms of people. Prince George is kind of a bigger area. And Prince Rupert, I think, might even be a little further than that. Let me zoom out here. Prince Rupert, Fort Nelson, Prince George. There we are. So it's on the coast here, Prince Rupert. So Ted, that's the furthest you've been. So you kind of get an idea of what northern Canada is like. It still gets even a little different geographically and community-wise when you go further northeast, but you got a good taste. And BC is a fantastic place, good tourist place, especially if you can make your way to the islands of British Columbia. Of course, that's where Trudeau, our prime minister, love him or hate him, no comment. That's where he takes a lot of vacations, is on the BC islands. So yeah, there we go. Not only do you get a weather lesson today, you get a little bit of a history lesson. If you haven't checked it out, if you're new to the stream, welcome. If you've just come across OOTP Baseball and are thinking of purchasing it, Yes, you can go to the website, ootpdevelopments.com. Let me post that quickly in the chat. And you can check out everything about OOTP. You can purchase the game on Steam or on your desktop. You can purchase the hockey version, which is, it's FHM 9. We are on OOTP 23. So they are a little bit behind in terms of their development. It's not quite the same experience as the baseball game, but still really, really fun if you're a hockey fan. And you can also download the mobile version, which gives you one free team. You can have a fourth team for Perfect Team if you have the mobile version. You can also get on the OOTP Discord. You can go check out their forums and find out everything. Any question you have about the game, about sliders, about players, about lineups, simulations, tournaments, a lot of good information on the website. This was my go-to place for many years before Discord came out. In terms of latest news, well, and speaking of which, I always like to mention that if you buy this version of the game, because the new version usually comes out in March or April, if you buy this version, you can play it for a full another year. You'll get to play this game probably until about May 2024. So it still has a lot of replay value. I'd say about 50% of the community goes over to the new game when it comes out. About 30% play both, because you can play both games. And about 20% strictly kind of plays the old version. They don't buy the new version. So percentages are probably, from my experience, pretty close to those numbers. So it's not like when the new one comes out, you can't play this one anymore. You absolutely can play in the tournaments, get packs, open packs. It's just they don't have new cards that come out. You still play with the older version cards. You get to play of Jason. Oh, Friday the 13th. Yes, we just had a Friday the 13th. They have a free game until the 26th of January, and then it goes away forever. Friday the 13th Killer Puzzle. Yeah, Friday the 13th, always one of those mystical days. So go check it out. You can download it on Steam and play as Jason before it goes away forever. All right, guys, we have an ad break coming up. Then we're going to get into some OOTP gameplay in action. Stay tuned. We will be right back after these wonderful messages from our sponsors. Oh, Heath. I can hear you. All right, welcome back. Hope you got some comical, humorous, funny ads along the way. So thank you to our sponsors for keeping us streamers going and continuing to provide you guys with hints and tips and resources to help you play a better game of OOTP. And again, thank you to all of you that are following. I see one follower from Switzerland. We got a couple from Britain, one from Poland. Hey, welcome, Poland follower. And yeah, my ancestors came from the Ukraine, and I visited Poland. When was it? About 4 years ago, 2019. I visited Poland and spent about a day there as we were doing our school cross Europe kind of tour. And I'm glad I was able to do it in 2019 because we know what happened a year later, and that opportunity taken away for many schools now because they just don't deem it as safe as it used to be. So yes, I have visited Poland. I was in, I think it was Warsaw, and I got in Warsaw, got to go to the factory. Most of you have probably seen the movie Schindler's List. Well, his original factory, where he was keeping and helping a lot of the people escape from the Nazis, his factory is, I believe it's in Warsaw, maybe Krakow. I can't remember which of the two cities it was. I think it was Warsaw. And we got to go and tour that factory. It was pretty cool when you get to see this building. And it was the same building that they used in the movie Schindler List. And we also went to the death camps, the concentration camp in Poland, Auschwitz. And I think I mentioned this on stream before. That was one of the most surreal, humbling experiences ever to walk and tour through that. So thank you if you're the one viewer and you can hear me and you can translate or understand English, because you never know. Thank you for following from Poland. Again, couple from Britain, few from Germany and Belgium. Getting late for you guys, about 9 o'clock there. So welcome to the channel. All of you guys talking about Friday the 13th. You guys are just slasher fans, aren't you? Well, let's take a look at what OOTP has recommended. But yeah, Gorgo's good for finding new, cool, new games. Overwatch and this new Friday the 13th. So he's even got time outside of OOTP. He must really have a honey that doesn't mind him playing all these games. So nothing new on the official channel from OOTP. Let's take a look at the Perfect Team Twitter channel. And again, you can follow them on Twitter. Let me just put that in the chat. There you go. And we'll give a shout out to Gorgo too. If you haven't followed Gorgo, he streams on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. He has his big giveaway on Sunday. So go check him out. Give him a follow. Great content, great history, great talk about the Cincinnati area and about many things. You know, Gorgo has lived quite a wonderful life, and he tells you about some of the cool people that he's come across and experiences that he's had. So check him out Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Nothing really new on the official channel for Perfect Team. Again, last week, the Ralph Kiner card came out, an 82 gold, 100 copies of those. I think they're about 60 copies into it right now. So those get pulled pretty quick because they're gold cards. Whereas the Ricky Henderson, somewhere down here, he's been out for a while now. The Ricky Henderson, I believe there's maybe 50 that have been pulled, maybe slightly over 50. So a lot of the Ricky Hendersons are still in packs, and it is a meta card. This is a card you definitely can improve your team with very, very quickly. And a lot of the big teams, the high-profile teams, have Ricky Henderson or are trying to buy Ricky Henderson. So that is the news. No limited edition card released today that I can see. Sometimes they release them on Tuesdays, once in a while on a Sunday or a Monday. but doesn't look like anything from them today. And if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, this was where I started. I started on YouTube, and I've put together a lot of OOTP content right from when the game came out in May, including what you might find helpful is a few tutorials. Tournaments, great way to earn free packs. So you can play the Bronze, Ace of Bronze tournament. You can play the Ace of Iron tournament. And you can play the Bronze live, where you can only use live players as part of your team. Both the other ones, both the Ace tournaments, you can use live or historical cards. So I've created 3 videos now. 2 of them I updated in December, and this one here I posted on Saturday maybe, on Saturday. And if you're a new player and you want to earn some packs, go watch those videos. Go check them out. Again, I will put the links here. First of all, I'll put the OOTP link one more time if you want to go to their website. And if you want to check out my latest live Bronze tournament to help you earn some more packs. I go through my team. I show you kind of the players that I like to put into the lineup and why I like to put them in, talk about sliders a little bit. And like I said, the community has given me so much. I've become a better player after watching many videos and streamers. So I just want to give back and do the same. So if you want to use my same lineup, go ahead. I don't care. A lot of it's random generated, so you can win one tournament and come last in the next 3. Like, it's just, that's how these tournaments work. But you can also play silver. You can play gold. You can play diamond. You can play cap tournaments where you can only have a certain value of cards, like has to add up to 1,350 or lower. You can play live tournaments, non-live tournaments, so many that you can play. I've just given you a sampling of 3. So again, feel free to check those out. I also have a 10-part beginner series for dummies to get you again started on the game. If you're completely new and you don't know how to play, you can go check that out. OOTP Perfect Team for Dummies. I know most of you guys are probably a little bit better than that level right now. So thank you guys. Let's see the chat here, if anything's going on. Don't think so. Okay, pretty cool. This week, we already know which cards are coming out. The Hall of Fame set on January the 19th. So you will be able to pull cards of players that were on the Hall of Fame ballot. What I don't know is if it's this year's Hall of Fame ballot or if it's any year Hall of Fame ballot, because that makes a big difference. So we'll find out on Thursday which cards are going to be in the packables. And time is running out. We only have 5 more new release sets or new release weeks. Paul Sporer, the new content director for OOTP 24, he is coming out with a set on January 26 of some of his favorite cards that we likely haven't seen yet. And then 2 of the last 3 weeks are more missions, with one final penultimate set on February the 9th. All right, let's talk about my week. That was OOTP from January the 8th to the 15th. I always like to kind of find a few cool things that happened during my week. So this was one. As I was watching the highlights from one game of my tournament, Juan Moncada, a really good bronze, Ace of Bronze card. Juan Moncada, he hit an inside the park home run. I don't see that very often, inside the parkers. Have you guys ever seen that? A player hit an inside the parker? But yeah, Juan Moncada did that. So that was pretty cool. Also, as I was looking through box scores, I noticed this one. Larry Walker, in one of the games, he hit a lot of foul balls. And we see this in real baseball too. I think the record's like 12 or 13 foul balls in a row. But Larry Walker, yeah, he hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 foul balls before striking out. So didn't work out too good for him, but I thought that was kind of cool. Also, someone in Discord, I can't remember who, posted this from one of their packs. This has never happened to me. I've had 2 players of the same player, but I've never had 3. So when I talk about dud packs, yeah, getting 3 44 irons of the same guy, unless you're a Marlins fan, all the power to you, but 3 Garcias in one pack. So I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, every week if I find little cool things that take place, achievements, I'll pass them along to you guys. Again, if you're just joining in, I've got a giveaway towards the end of the stream, and I will do that likely around 3:15ish, maybe 3:10ish. We'll do that giveaway. And today's not really a pack opening episode because Mondays I don't like opening packs. I've never really got anything good, but we will open a few on the theme team just to see if we can get some of those Hollywood movie stars to add to the team. Yeah, his facial expression makes it even better. Yeah. He's like, the boss. The boss. I am 3 times in this pack. Now, if that was a perfect historical legend, hey, we wouldn't complain, would we? And in just a little bit, we are going to get in the game where some of you have created players. I've got 5 responses already for the next draft. And if you want to create a player for the draft, I'll post the link. Let's do that here. If you can fill out this Google form, you can have your player drafted in our next amateur draft, which will probably be, I'm thinking, on Monday of next week. So next week, next Monday will be our last opportunity, your last opportunity to get in the game. And then the draft after that, you will get in. The second draft is going to be kind of a unique draft where I put special players in that I create. And then that's going to be it for created players. Then we're going to play the seasons out with all the current players that we have. So yes, fill out that Google form if you want to get in the game. Some of you filled it in last week, but if you haven't, kind of a fun way, an interactive way to be part of the game. Also on Mondays, I like to do a little shout out for my followers since I found this, thought it was pretty cool. Every week, they give you an update of who your top chatters are. So I know I'm a big chatter. When I go into affiliate streams, I like to chat, and I'm sorry, I apologize if I'm chatting too much, but I don't mind it in my chat. If you like to talk about baseball or your weather or things going on or cool stories that you come across, feel free to do that. Rob, you dominated last week. Thank you so much for your participation in the channel. EVC, Erie GM, Fulfie, and Cubs fan Steve, thank you so much for your activity too. So just kind of a cool thing I like to show, the weekly chat update. And I've added, if you haven't noticed already, some new emotes that if you are a subscriber, you get to use not only on my stream, but on other streamers' channels too. So of course, when I open packs, we get the dogs going. Who let the dogs out? Yeah, that classic song from the 90s. So that is one of the newer emotes. We've got one that is under the approval process, which will be my first animated one, which will involve the logo that I have. That one is coming up soon. You might not have access to it. And then for a little game I like to play, gouge or not gouge, I've created a couple of emotes to go with that activity when we do that. So yes, some emotes that I've created for my subscribers. And thank you again for those of you that do subscribe. If you're a Prime member, you always get that 1 free month that you can subscribe to any channel. And otherwise, if you subscribe, it helps the channel out, and whoever the streamer is helps them out a little bit too. So thank you guys for being part of my subscribers and followers. Speaking of new followers, we've got to shout out a couple. Brynick1107. Thank you for the follow on the weekend, even though I wasn't streaming. You added a follow. And also to Maxwell Shammer, number 1. Thank you for following about a half hour ago. And again, it just amazes me where people are watching this from and the technology we have. Over 100 people from the US, got over 20 from Canada, some Germans, some Belgians, one from Switzerland, and even I just noticed there is one from Argentina. Welcome. Cool. Someone that is watching from Argentina. Maxwell's Silver Hammer. Maxwell's Shammer 1, not Silver Hammer. Maxwell Shammer 1. Well, guys, let's take a look at how my teams did. Let's start with my 2 premier teams because they're both in Diamond. And how did you guys do? What was your results this last week? Were you able to make the playoffs? Did you make a final? Did you win one of the trophies? I didn't. I did not. The Gym Unknown Blue Jays did win a live tournament. We won one of those live bronze tournaments. So that was pretty exciting. But other than that, we didn't really accomplish a lot. We made the playoffs. All 3 teams did make the playoffs. My theme team, Lights, Camera, Action, got a bye. We squeaked out the division series in 5 games. And then we got smoked by a bunch of cheese. Yes, bunch of cheese. The cheese trucks slammed us 4-0 in the conference, and they went on to lose to one of my rivals, Rumblin' Rookies, who I faced in the finals at least once, and I faced this manager's other team twice in the theme team finals. So I didn't get to face them for the 4th time, and they won the Bronze League. So Lights, Camera, Action do get to go up to silver because we made the final 4. So we are now on our way to that silver level. We have added a couple players to the team. Added John Franco. Here's a guy that I'm hearing a lot of good things about. I'm hearing more good than bad about the Milestone John Franco card. So if you have a chance to pick him up or to finish the mission to get him, probably a good card to get. He qualifies because he was on the TV series Airless, and he was also in the animated or produced the animated show Henry and Me. But it's his acting, his role as an actor that got him qualified to be on the team. And the other one I added is a Cincinnati Red. Mr. Bill Henry that I pulled in a pack, a closer that I can add to the bullpen. Again, I'm sure a player that Gorgo's familiar with. And he was in a TV series in 1958. This is Alice. This is Alice. Yes, gouge. Test 1, 2, 3. Cobra, you just couldn't wait, could you? You just had to throw in that sticker now. You couldn't wait for the game. I'm glad it works. And Rob Fan, you finished under 500 but stayed in bronze. The way I look at it, if you stay in the league, it's a chance to improve your team and get more perfect points. Accumulate those perfect points, because the higher levels you go, the accomplishments become a little tougher, and getting perfect points gets a little tougher. So I don't mind if I have to stay in a league for 2 or 3 seasons, because usually I get to build up some perfect points. You already know the outcome. Yep. You've got the red emote ready to go, don't you? And Heath won the Bronze World Series in Game 7. Congratulations. And you're in silver right now. Well, hopefully you're not with all the theme teams, because they tend to be pretty good, unless you have a theme team. If you have a theme team, then you're in my league most likely. So you won the World Series. It's always nice winning any level World Series. I don't care if it's rookie or diamond. You don't get trophies like with perfect, but it's still satisfying going through a week, and especially in game 7. I'm sure it was kind of nervous. Are you guys like me when you're in the playoffs, especially the later rounds? Do you guys watch the highlights? Do you just look at the box score? Do you look at the game log? What is your go-to method when you're checking out your results? Because I always hide the score. I don't want to find the score. And then typically, if it's a playoff game, I'll watch the highlights. And that takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes. If it's a non-playoff game, I'll just look at the game log and then a quick look at the box score. What is your go-to method when you play this game? So he says usually he hides the scores and watches a highlight. Yeah, exactly like me. I find that the most satisfying way to see how your players are doing. Seeing a lack of TTC teams. Okay, so you're safe. you're in a non-theme team bronze league. Okay, excellent. Oh, so Crime in the Woods, you replay the whole game? I've never done the replay. I've just done the highlights. The replay, is it pitch by pitch, or is it runners in scoring position, or maybe you can set it? I don't know. I've never actually, in all these years, I've never clicked that replay. I've always done highlights, game log, box score. Seaver helped you? Yeah, Seaver is a Cooperstown Seaver is a great card in the lower levels. Absolutely. Look for either green or red above the score. I didn't even notice that. I'll have to check that next time I log in. Green or red above the score. And Ted McGinn says his maid team had the best record in the league and, of course, was swept by a team that finished 10 games back. Well, Ted, let me share my story of the Gladiators and the Jim Unknown Blue Jays, because I have a similar story in Diamond. This seems to be a theme. So the Gladiators and the Jim Unknown Blue Jays, my teams, both made the Diamond playoffs on Sunday. And they were both making it to the division series. And I thought, hey, for the first time ever, I might have my two teams in the Final Four and playing each other, which I thought would have been cool. I would have watched those games, and I wouldn't care who won, but it would be cool to have both your teams, like Mr. Audit has done a couple times, facing each other. So my Gladiators got a bye. They won the division. They had a fairly good record. They came up against the Denver Bel Airs wild card and lost after having a 2-0 lead. So I had a 2-0 lead and reverse sweep by a wild card team. And then to top it all off, my Blue Jays beat the best team in the conference. The Vlad News Cubs had over 100 wins. So we did the reverse of what happened to the Gladiators. Beat them, but then we played the Denver Bel Airs, the wild card team. And they beat us in 5 games, and they went on to the championship and lost out to the Tulsa Goldies. So Ted, yeah, I feel you. I understand what you kind of went through. It's happened to me a lot of times. The wild card team goes on a playoff run and sometimes even wins the whole thing. I've been on both sides of it. I've been a playoff team that has won, and I've been beat out by a lower level wild card team. And Crime in the Woods, game by game or pitch by pitch. Wow. Yeah, I don't know if I'd have the patience for that, but very cool way. It's like it's watching a game on TV. I used to do that with the old NHL EA computer games back in the early 2000s, where you could just have a game play and you could watch it. And back then, the graphics were like, whoa, this is so cool. It's like real life back in the early 2000s. And I'd just sit back and I'd watch the gameplay, AI play AI. So yeah, kind of similar to that. You're entering the Monday evening bronze tournament to try to get those diamond packs. Yeah, I've entered a couple of them. I've won one of the iron ones to get 3 diamond packs, but yeah, I'm happy with standard packs. 3 diamond, 10 standard. I tend to do better in the standard ones. So that was the Gladiator J season. We did have a few all-stars. Warren Spahn, Ed Delahanty, Oscar Charleston made the all-star team for the Jim Unknown Blue Jays. And the Rocky Mountain Gladiators, they dominated. Lefty Grove, Cliff Lee, John Matlack, Jackie Robinson, Ken Griffey Jr., all making the all-star team for Rocky Mountain. So you always on the all-star roster, you see a lot of similar names, those high-profile cards. So it was nice to see Warren Spahn, who's kind of fallen down. He's not that top 5 pitcher anymore. It's nice to see Jackie Robinson, who's kind of fallen off the pace as a second baseman or shortstop, and Ken Griffey Jr. So I'm still using a lot of old school cards that many teams have abandoned, and it got me to the division series and almost to the Final Four. And hey, I've been in Perfect League twice with a lot of the tier 2, tier 3 kind of players. For those the big tournaments are good. You've gotten a few gold packs. Yep, absolutely, especially the perfect drafts. All right, so I'm going to change screens here, guys, and set up a perfect draft that we're going to do. And then after the break, we're going to get in the game and analyze some of the user-created players. So let me remove this. All right, welcome back. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Over 200 of you. Half of you are from the US. We've got, let's update where people are. We got 20 people from Canada, 4 from Great Britain, the United Kingdom and Great Britain. Also, we still have 1 from Switzerland. Hey, we got a French viewer. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Ça va bien? Bonjour. We also have 1 from the Ukraine. Wow. Hey, my ancestors from the Ukraine, from Western Ukraine, about a 2-hour drive from Lviv. So yeah, kind of closer maybe to Kiev, where my ancestors were from. I'm a second generation Canadian Ukrainian. So welcome. Also 1 from Brazil. Hey, I heard you guys are having a lot of issues down in Brazil. I see some footage of a bunch of people protesting on the streets. And also still 1 from Argentina and a viewer also from Vietnam. Very cool. Very, very cool. I know a lot about Vietnam because in my teaching career, we would cover a lot of, the Vietnam War and communism in Vietnam and even Vietnam today. I believe your currency in Vietnam is the Vietnam Dong, D-O-N-G. Vietnam Dong is what you have there. So thank you guys, no matter where you're following today. Thank you for tuning in to the channel. Later today, 10-pack giveaway to 2 different users, so stay tuned for that. We'll do that in about an hour's time. And then I'm going to raid into EVC. As long as EVC is on time for his 3:30 broadcast, we'll raid into him. So what a Monday. Hey, at least on this Monday, you get a full plate of LAP and EVC, and then whichever other streamers are on after that. But I don't think there's many. Monday's a pretty quiet day for streaming. Let me just do a quick check here, just in case you have other plans this afternoon and you want to kind of know who else will be streaming. Not an official schedule, but looks like, it looks like EVC, and then maybe the Nerds Talking at 8 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes they come on scheduled time, sometimes they don't. So looks like a plate full of Theme Team this Monday. So when you want to win packs or when you want to win perf points, there's 2 ways you can do that. If you're new, just going to guide you through on what you can do. On your perfect team screen, of course, you go to your main team at the top here. But to enter tournaments, you are allowed to enter 5 tournaments at any one time. 3 traditional and 2 perfect drafts. So that's why you have the 2 different tabs here. So when you enter the traditional tournaments, these are tournaments that involve cards that you already own. So to enter these tournaments, you have to use cards that are part of your collection. And there are many that you can choose from. And you can filter it out. You can go to different roster restrictions. If you only want to find tournaments that are bronze or lower, you can do that. Or iron, which I do with this team. So I'm going to quick spam and enter those 2 tournaments. So I'm allowed 3. So you can filter. You can enter tournaments that only use cards before 1945 or only use cards after 1961. So all these different tournaments that offer different prizes. And you can see the prizes right here under reward. 10 standard packs, 5 standard packs, or some tournaments, a choice pack, 3 diamond packs. So depending on the type of pack that you want to receive as a reward and the cards that you own. Remember, it's really important. You have to have the proper cards. If you don't own any silver cards, don't enter any silver tournaments because your roster will be filled with AI cards. They're known as gym unknowns. So your team will have a bunch of gym unknowns. They'll get crushed in every game and it'll be a waste of a tournament slot. So those are the traditional ones. Again, many ways to filter it. You want to do quick tournaments, dailies, weeklies, monthlies, or what are your roster restrictions? And once the tournament is over, you can click on your tournament and it shows you all the different tournaments that you've played in. They do expire after a certain time. It might be 2 weeks or something like that, and they will disappear. And you can find your active tournaments by looking for the ones that are green. So if they're highlighted green, they're the ones that you're still in. You haven't lost yet. So you can see that I have my 3 tournaments right there. So this will include your traditional and your perfect drafts. Whenever you go to your tournaments, maximum of 5 that you can be in at any one time. The other tab is the perfect drafts. These are drafts where you choose cards. You don't have to own these cards. You will get a choice of 6 cards for 13 rounds to fill out your 26-man roster. And you can enter 2 of these at any one time. Some of them are quick tournaments. These top ones that you usually see are your quick tournaments. Look at the rewards, 2,000 perfect points. Or if you're a beginner, I suggest you enter some of the 600 perfect points. Some have 32 teams that are part of it, and some have 16 teams. You can see that right here. And some there are only 8 teams that are part of the tournament. And I can click on one and I can see the 2 teams that are part of this tournament already. Key West Sharks and Whitefish Bay Blue Dukes have signed up for this one. Those are kind of your beginner tournaments. If you're just starting Perfect Draft, you might want to get started with those ones. When you scroll down, you'll get to the daily tournaments. These are run every day, every 24 hours that tournament runs. And then towards the bottom, you'll see your weekly tournaments like your Thursday Dead Ball, your Thursday Getaway. The one that Dish streams on Friday nights is this one here. The TWIPT Friday Showdown. And that still has a lot of room. It's only 62 teams. Here's the issue though. It's not full yet because managers will wait until Wednesday night or Thursday morning because you can play 2 dailies before that one's going to fill up. Once you enter it, then you can't fill another slot because you're tied to that tournament. Something as well that a lot of people don't know, if you enter a tournament, so I'm just going to enter one here. We'll enter this one here. It's not full. You sign up Okay, I've signed up for it. Then I can go and draft, but I have 4 days to draft. You can wait until 2 hours before the draft. You don't have to draft right away. And I recommend that you don't draft. You know why? Because Thursdays, new cards come out. And if you wait until Friday morning or afternoon to draft, you will likely get some of those new cards to choose from. So if you would have waited until Friday last week, you would have got a choice of possibly Carl Yastrzemski or Joey Votto. Always good to wait, but you don't want to forget, because if you forget, you get a bunch of AI players. You get your Jim Unknowns. So when I do enter the Friday Showdown, I wait until Friday to draft my team, because typically the better cards, the newer cards, are part of it. If you ever enter a draft and you say, you know what, I don't want to be part of this draft anymore, I don't want to wait 4 days, click on it, and you'll see a little withdraw button in the bottom. Click that, and it takes you out of the draft. So you are allowed 2 perfect drafts to run at any given time. Once you're eliminated, it opens up a new position. So you don't have to wait until the tournament is over. You only have to wait until you are eliminated from that tournament. Of course, if you make the final, you have to wait till the tournament's over. So again, when you play tournaments, you're allowed 3 traditional tournaments. You can filter by the tournament and how often it's run. And you can also join 2 perfect drafts. And I highly recommend always try and be part of 2. Why not? It doesn't cost anything. These are free. And you don't have to use your own cards. They will give you cards to choose from. So to me, this is a fun, easy way to win a choice pack, which all the dailies and the weeklies are, or to win some perfect points if you want to try some of these kind of entry-level perfect drafts. All right, let me check the chat, see if I'm missing anything here. Yes, and this day in baseball, January 16th, 1996, Major League Baseball approves interleague play. So all of you young people that have been around since it's been here since you've been alive, well, it's only been around for, what is that, 17 years? 17 years ago, no, 27 years. 27 years ago today, interleague baseball. And I love interleague baseball. I would have loved that earlier to have more Blue Jay Expo games. Of course, they introduce it, you know, as the Expos were leaving Montreal, but pretty cool. Yeah, they're not worth entering, even if you're the 32nd player. What was the question? Or I must have missed that. Yeah, so a lot of good comments. Let me go back up here and check some of the comments here. Boy, you guys are really chatty. Love that. So yeah, Rob's entering the Monday bronze one. I saw that one. Big tourneys are good. Yeah, if you can make the prize area, the big tourneys are good. Al Albuquerque for Ace of Bronze. Al Albuquerque. Yes, he is ridiculous. His control might scare you a little bit. I do have Al Albuquerque on my Ace of Bronze. Yeah, he's expensive. About 3,000 perfect points. All right, so some good chat going on there. Nothing really questions for me. Well, there we go. Wish come true, 1, 2, 3. You brought in interleague play to the world. You were born, it was introduced 1 month after you were born. There you go. Something to remember now. You always remember that. Hey, interleague play. Thanks, laptop. Interleague play came a month after I was born. Oh, wow. Rob and Wish come true. You guys are the same age. You guys have very similar birthdays there. 1 week after Rob was born. Bailey, Yeah. You can't get out of the first round anymore in Perfect Draft. You've lost your touch. Yeah, you're the Quito Mosquitoes, I believe, if I remember correctly. The Quito Mosquitoes. Easy name to remember. I've been the opposite. I've been doing much, much better in my perfect drafts. Thank you again for following. Over 230 of you currently here. As I check out my map, we've got 2 from Brazil now. Hey, 2 Brazilians watching. 111, 111 from the United States. We've got 5 from Germany, a couple from the UK, still 1 from Argentina, and a follower from Colombia. South Americans, thank you for following OOTP. It's great that this game is worldwide, people all across the world. So I've had a Colombian, a Venezuelan, an Argentinian, Brazil, Ukraine, Poland, Taiwan, Belgium, Germany, Canada, and the US. Cubs fan, yeah. That's what I get for either a glitch or, I don't know, that 20 minutes went by way too fast. If you do get me in round 1, you're still going to have to face Ott and Yaz, I think. But yeah, there's a freebie for you. That doesn't happen to me very often. In fact, this might be only the second time I ran out of time. All right, guys, if you have a Get in the Game player, post your player in the chat. Let me know which player or players that you created. If you're kind of on the waiting list, you will be drafted next Monday. But yeah, let me know who have you created in this game. Oh, Cubs fan, did you win any of your leagues this year or this last season? All right. Yeah, list those players, guys, so I kind of know who to focus on a little bit more, because not all 60 of you, I'm sure, are here. Mitch McLovin is in the building. Mitch McLovin is here. Ted the Tin Man McGinn is here. We got Mitch, we got Ted. Any other created players here? Dockage. Mr. Devil Dog, the unknown pitcher. Well, I'll put him on the screen here, Mr. Devil Dog. You should recognize it from, where is it here? Short list, pitchers. Are you Pug Bailey? Ranger Robin, Slam Bino Jr., Nick Charman, Kratos Wars, Enzo Meow, or Henry Rowengartner? If you created a pitcher anyway, it would have been one of those. If it was a two-way player, he might have transitioned over to batters. Let's go to the batters. And let's go to pitching ratings. Yeah, none of the batters here, unless it's Ryan Sandberg. Yeah, no, he should be, if it was strictly a pitcher, he should be one of these ones. But maybe he was a batter that can pitch. There's not many batters that can pitch here. Will Huff Tarkin. All right, well, let's get on to it. And we are now at the beginning in April of 1927. You guys are still in the roaring 20s. The stock market's doing great. Baseball is really exciting. We're past the old White Sox or Black Sox scandal of 1919. World War I is done, and times are good in 1927. So let's take a look at the beginning of the year, who OOTP has in terms of our top prospects. Michael Brantley, John Anderson, I love finding cool names. Gary Gray. I thought it said Gary at first. Gary Gray, who played in the 70s and 80s for Texas, Cleveland, and Seattle. I do not remember this guy. Left fielder. He didn't play very well. His strongest season was in Seattle, a .257 average, and only played half the season. Gary Gray. All right, and our top pitcher prospects, Steve Cook, Ken Ryan, Preacher Rowe, Mudcat Grant. Cool. All right, let's take a look at the top players. Top players in the league. Oh, that was the Boston Red Sox. We don't want the Boston Red Sox. We want the league top prospects. Here we go. Robin Yount, Ross Barnes, number 2, Moises Alou, Jeff McNeil, Oscar Gamble. And our top user-created prospect is a guy you might know, AZ Axel, a catcher who is starting the season in St. Petersburg, Florida with the Wolverines. He was drafted number 13 in the first round by the Guardians. 20th prospect overall. Another user-created player is number 22, Alan, not the real one, Trammell. Alan Trammell is in AA, starting the season with the Seattle Lords. 21-year-old from Good Hope, Alabama. Yes, not the real Alan Trammell. Another user-created prospect, 43rd overall on the prospect list, Wilhuff Tarkin, a 19-year-old from Berlin, Germany, playing in AA to start the season with the Tacoma Millionaires. Wilhuff Tarkin, Grand Moff. And I do have 4 people watching from Germany, so maybe Wilhuff is in the audience. And the final batter on the prospect list, user-created electric AC/DC meter, or meter. I like meter. It sounds cool. Electric meter. He is a 19-year-old from Rochester, Pennsylvania, right fielder, and he is starting in San Bernardino with the Fisher Cats. Good prospect. He's pretty much fully developed so far. A little bit more power to go. He is number 60 or number 70 ranked. Pitcher-wise, none of the user-created prospects are on here. Johnny Cato, the number 6 overall prospect. Jose Guzman, number 19. Tom Henke, Blue Jay legend, number 24. All right, so we will continue on after our ad. Of course, if you're a subscriber, you didn't have any ads. So good for you. About another 30 seconds before the rest is on stream. All right, welcome back. As I went into the ad break a little bit, I was talking about the top prospects. There's 4 user-created top prospects. AZ Axel, ranked number 20th overall. Alan, not the real Trammell, out of Good Hope, Alabama, where Jason said he's been to Good Hope, Alabama. 21-year-old. We have from Germany, and again, we have 4 people currently watching from Germany. We have Wilhuff Tarkin, 43 ranked overall, starting in AA with Tacoma. And our last created prospect is Electric Meter out of Rochester, Pennsylvania, currently ranked number 70 overall. So there are our prospects. Let's take a look at some of our veterans and the top players in the league, the power rankings. Ranked number 1 in the league, we have King Kelly. He is amazing, 22 years old. Rogers Hornsby, who we just got recently in the game as a perfect card. He is 34 years old, still plugging away with the Washington Senators. And Honus Wagner, 37-year-old, hasn't retired yet, still doing really well with Cleveland. Oyster Burns, ranked number 4. Joe Torre, number 5. Fred Lynn, 24-year-old, playing for the Browns. Nomar Garciaparra, ranked number 7 overall, and our first user-created player on the top 20 list, Vince Jags Whirlwind, and he's only 23 years old. Look at the awards he's accomplished, a championship, an MVP, probably the best defender, good base stealer, good contact. Center fielder for Washington Senators, 39 Cobras, Vince Whirlwind. One up on Jackie Robinson, 37-year-old Jackie Robinson. Our second user-created player in the top 10, Lee Sitch. Lee Sitch, 31 years old now. 15th overall in round number 1. He has 2 Platinum Stick Awards, has not won a World Championship yet. So he's a good player on a lot of bad teams, it looks like, or one bad team. Ranked number 11 overall is Tetsuiji, another affiliate. Tetsuiji's Roland Fizzlebeef, the 11th ranked player in the league. Ranked 12th is our very own Bob the Vacuum Dyson. Getting up there in age, 31 years old. Bo Bichette, number 13. And former number 2 overall pick, Regis Escoffier, out of France. My French viewer is no longer watching. Au revoir. Regis Escoffier, ranked number 14. Joe Medwick at 15, Frank Fennelly at 16, Bill Dallin at 17, Chuck Klein at 18, Earl Torgeson at 19, and 28-year-old Ricky Henderson, the 20th ranked batter. In terms of our pitchers, we do have a few user-created ones. Pugs Bailey out of Birmingham, England, is our number 1 ranked starting pitcher. 31 years old, Smilin' Tim, playing for the New York Yankees. Herb Score, Ranger Early Bird Robin, out of Chicago White Sox, born in Denver, Colorado, and ranked number 3. Bob Feller, Jim Whitney, George Davies, Rube Waddell. There's Mitch McGlovin. Mitch McGlovin is the number 8 overall ranked pitcher. Playing on the New York Giants, only 22 years old. He's only played 1 season, so he's only in his 2nd year, and he's in the top 10 ranked pitchers. 2.5 WAR last season. Way to go, Mitch McGlovin. Number 9, Roger Clemens, as a 36-year-old. There's Roger. Look at that stash. Nick Charman, number 10, out of Edmonton, Alberta. Not my created player. Playing for the Brooklyn Robins. Has an MVP or a Cy Young. Also won championship. Way to go, Nick. Pete McGean, Tony Gosselin, Ed Morris. Our 4th pitcher that's been created by you guys, Kratos War, the god of war, has won a Cy Young and one championship. Scott Stratton, 28-year-old Clayton Kershaw, is ranked number 16. I did not know his nickname was the Claw. I don't know if that's his real nickname or just one the game gave him. The Claw. Oh, finally, Egyptian, you're making a move. Egyptian Healy, a real life player that played in the late 1800s. Guy that I've taken a look at a couple times because I found him kind of interesting with that name. Rod Peronoski and Jamie Garcia rank out the top 20. So there we go. Those are our top players according to OOTP in the game. And some of the players, Wes Covington, who's a great bronze meta tournament card. Yeah, he's not hitting a lot of home runs. Rabbit Worsler, kind of a cool name. And of course, Dummy Hoy, who retired at the age of 37. Actually 35. He retired 2 years ago. Out of Hookletown, Ohio. Hope I pronounced that right. And if you were not in the top 20, here are all the other players. Everyone is starting at the major league level right now, except for our 3 recent drafted players, AZ Axel, Mr. Electric Meter, and Alan Not the Real Trammell. There's Ted McGinn. Ted McGinn is 22-year-old out of Glasgow, Scotland. Plays third base for the Chesapeake Polecats, so I guess he's starting in AAA this season. He'll make his way up to the big league soon, I guess. Let's take a look at the league. So AZ Axo Electric Meter, Ken Starr, if you're here in the audience, you're starting at AA. Alan and Will Huff, 2 recent draftees, are starting in AA. And then Brian Davenport, Ted McGinn, and EVC's created Blaze Von Brawls starting in AAA. So EVC, if you're in chat, you've been up and down, my friend. Started in AA, 3 seasons in AAA before getting promoted to the Yankees. Then back down to AA, AAA, back up to the Yankees. Yes. Quite the career so far as a 23-year-old out of New York, New York. All right, we are going to play up until the All-Star game, and then we're going to play that out. See how many of you guys made the All-Star game and who you're playing with. Some of the real-life pros. Again, if you're new to OOTP or Perfect Team, so many ways you could play this game. If you did not have to sleep, you literally could stay awake 24 hours and find something new and interesting to do on OOTP, at least for myself. It's a never-ending game with so much replay value. You can replay seasons over and over and over and get different results. You can create players, you can delete players, you can clone players. So many things that you can do with this game in the base game. That doesn't even include Perfect Team. All right, we have made our way to the All-Star game. Hope you guys are pulling something good out of your packs today. We've got about 20 minutes before we do our draw, and then we're going to raid into EVC at the bottom of the hour, and he's going to give you a complete wrap-up of all the theme team action this last weekend, including how his 6 teams, I think he has, how his 6 teams did. Yeah, I would not have the time for 6 teams, that's for sure. All right, nothing new in chat. All right, here is our all-star lineup. For the National League, we have Ed Delahanty leading off. Nomar Garciaparra playing second base. Chuck Klein will be in right field. Lee Sitch, user-created player in the cleanup role. King Kelly, catching and batting fifth. Del Bissonette, playing first base, hitting sixth. Hitting seventh will be Harlan Clift, playing third base. Vada Pinson, right field. And in the number 9 slot, the center fielder, Tony the Cat's Meow. On the bench, we have Craig Wilson, we have Al Smith, and we have rookie Ross Barnes. Look at this rookie season. Ross Barnes hit 371. Wow. 371. He was the number 1 overall draft pick. And again, I do not play with the ratings of the real players. I let the game bring them in randomly. So yeah, he looks like he is going to be a good player for many years. Pitching, we have George Davies starting the game. And on the bench, we have user-created player Nick Sharman, Andy Pettit, 34-year-old Rube Waddell. Really good. Perfect card. John Rocker. Oh, we all remember John Rocker with the Phillies. I think it was the Phillies. Can't see his real life stats. There it is. Atlanta. It was Atlanta. Okay, yeah. He was with Atlanta. John Rocker. The Wild. Was he the Wild Thing? I think he was. I think he was the Wild Thing. And Ken Chase. So only 6 pitchers in the 1927 All-Star Game. For your American League, leading off, MVP and number 1 ranked player, Vince Whirlwind in center field. Batting second, 35-year-old Roger Hornsby. Batting third, rookie Oyster Burns. In the cleanup role, we have 37-year-old Honus Wagner. At catcher, batting fifth, Joe Torre. At first base, left-handed hitter Earl Torgeson. In left field, batting seventh, we have Joe Medwick. Pablo Sandoval at third base, batting eighth. And in the 9th spot, we have Al Bumbry at DH. And the game looks like it might crash on me. Don't crash on me, game. Do not crash on me. I'm waiting for it. I've got the hourglass. So we will see. We will see how the game does. And I'm just hoping that it's done a save. Yes, Mitch William was the Wild Thing. Okay. Just waiting on the game here and the hourglass. Yes, thankfully it did not crash. Heck, the maintenance is working, OOTP. Normally it would have crashed. Pitching for your American League All-Stars is Doc White. And on the bench, we have Tess Weegees, Roland Fizzlebeef. We have Bo Bichette and Bill Melton. In the bullpen, we have Pug Bailey, Gil Mesh, Herb Scorer, Bob Wicker, and Billy McCool. So Mitch Williams was the Wild Thing, yeah. Is that who Charlie Sheen played, or was that kind of who he was supposed to kind of represent in Major League in the movie? Seems to ring a bell. Was Charlie Sheen like the Wild Thing? Didn't he have that song come into play when he came out of the bullpen? All right, let's start the game. There we go. Thank you, Fofi. All right, we are going to go only until runners in scoring position. And then that should take us to our last break, and then we'll come back and do our contest. American League and National League, we've got 2 created players on the National League. We have on the AL just one, just Vince Whirlwind. I'm going to guess Carter hit that home run off Mitch. Oh yeah, Joe Carter. Blue Jay legend. One of my top 5 Blue Jays of all time. Yes, Vince is leading off for the American League. I'm going to predict a 7-5 AL win. Let's see how that works out. Runners in scoring position. Well, the NL have 2 men on, no one out. Chuck Klein at the plate. He's got some power. He takes the pitch, and we have a double steal, a successful double steal. Delahanty to third, Garcia Parra to second. Chuck Klein working on a 1-1 count, no one away. He drives the ball up the middle weakly. The shortstop grabs it, takes the out at first, and Delahanty scores the first run for the NL All-Stars. Lee Stitch at the plate. 1 out, 1 on. Great power, great contact. Look at this guy. Look at that contact and power. 4.5-star player out of New York, New York. Always like to highlight the created players. And he drives one to short. That's going to score a run, and that will be the second out for the NL. King Kelly at the plate. Great player. He drives one up the middle. He gets on base with a single. And Bissonnette will be the third out of the inning, but the NL scores 2 hits on 1 run, 1 error by the AL as we head to the bottom of 1. Vince Whirlwind on second base. Nobody out. Rogers Hornsby at the plate. Oh, missed bunt. He was looking to move Vince over to third. Again, if successful bunt, it does work out. A sacrifice by Rogers Hornsby in 1927. Oyster Burns at the plate. Look at that contact. Oyster Burns. Wow, I like this guy. He played in the late 1800s. What is our highest? Someone do the research. What is our highest Oyster Burns card? He had an overall 300 average in his career, 35.4 WAR. Not a big home run guy, but almost 1,400 hits and 279 stolen bases. Look at that contact on a player from the 1800s. All right, he should be able to drive him in. He does. That's down the right field line. That goes to the corner. That is easily going to score the runner from third. And Oyster Burns holds up at second. 2-1 game for Honus Wagner. In the twilight of his career, a fly out to right field. Will this move the runner? Nope. Burns stays at second. Joe Torre at the plate. Yankee manager and former player, he grounds out, moves the runner to third, and that will do everything for the American League. 2-1 game, 1 hit for the NL, 2 hits and 1 error for the AL. Runners in scoring position already in the second inning. Tony the Cat Meow at the plate up against Doc White. Runner on second, he drives one to second base. Moves the runner along. Ed Delahanty, leadoff hitter for the NL. Pinson at third base. He drives one to left field. That is going to fall, scoring easily Pinson from third. and the NL a 3-1 lead. Nomar Garciaparra, his second time at the plate. And running is Delahanty. He steals second easily. And there we go. Garciaparra strikes out. 3-1 NL. Bottom of 2. No runs for the AL in their half of the inning. We go to top of 3. Chuck Klein on second. Lee Sitch at the plate. No one out. He drives one to center. Weak, and caught by the center fielder. King Kelly drives one again to center field. That falls, and here comes the runner from second. No, he holds up at third. Klein at third. King Kelly at first. Del Bissonette at the plate. That should do it. Inning-ending double play as we move to the bottom of 3. AL finally gets something going. El Bumbry at second. Rogers Hornsby. 35-year-old Rogers Hornsby. Wow, he played until he was 41 years old. From 19 to 41. And did he take any years off? Yeah, he did not take any years off. So he was not part of World War I, and he ended his career just before World War II. A 101 war. Wow. 358 career batting average. Almost 10,000 plate appearances. Closed in very close to 3,000 hits. Never quite made it to 3,000 hits. And 541 doubles. One of the legends, Rogers Hornsby at the plate. He drives one to center field. That is going to fall. Here comes the runner from third. They should score easily. Yes. No. Out. What a throw by the center fielder. And they get the runner at the plate. Who was that? Tony the Cat Meow, I guess. Look at that arm. Look at that range. Tony the Cat Meow threw out the runner. 3-1 game. And that is driven to third base. Easy play for the third baseman. And down go the AL. Top of 4. Runners on first and second for Nomar Garciaparra. 1 for 2 on the day. Here comes the pitch, and the third baseman grabs that one. What a play by third baseman Pablo Sandoval. Oh no, that's the other team. Clift. Bases loaded. Fly out to center field. Routine play, and that retires the side. We go to bottom of 4, 3-1 NL. 2 errors for the AL. They do have a runner on second with Joe Torre at the plate. Again, lazy fly ball to center field. Runner holds on second. Earl Torgeson at the plate. He drives one to left field. That is going to be caught. 2 out for Joe Medwick. Drives one deep into the center right field gap. Double for Medwick. Another run for the AL, and they are only 1 behind with Pablo Sandoval at the plate. And that is it. The AL score 1 run on 1 hit and are down 3-2 as we head to the top of 5. Nothing going for the NL. John Rocker in the game in his second inning. And he has a runner on third. Again, Vince Whirlwind cash in the tying run. Here's the pitch. It is driven into center field. That's going to drop. And Vince Whirlwind with the RBI single ties the game. Top of 6. And we head to the bottom of 6. And the AL must have hit a home run. Let's check out the game log. In the 6th inning. But we don't want to do that. We don't want to look at the final score. We can't check out the game log. Maybe the box score. There we go. Joe Medwick hit a home run with 2 out off John Rocker. Well, hey, that's realistic. That makes sense. Instead of Joe Carter, it's Joe Medwick. We go to top of 7. AL up 4-3, and they get nothing. The AL. Bottom of 7, we have the 7th inning stretch. Seventh inning coffee break. There we go. Espresso. Hazelnut. Back to the game action. Runner on second base for the AL, Bo Bichette. I think the Blue Jays, didn't the Blue Jays just come out in the press and say every player is tradable except for Bo Bichette? You're a Blue Jay fan. Did that come up in the news recently? Al Bunbury at second base, 1 away. Here comes the pitch, and that drops. Oh no, it is caught. A diving catch by the center fielder, Tony the Cat Meow. The Meow has been on fire defensively. Oyster Burns at the plate, Al Bunbury at second. And that should be it for the AL. They do have a 4-3 lead as we head to the 8th inning. And the NL is threatening. Lisich on second. On first base, we have, who do we have? Mr. Wilson. Craig Wilson on first base. Del Bissonette at the plate. Doc White still in the game. 7 strong innings, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Here's the pitch. And he missed the bunt. He was trying to bunt there. Pitch number 2, and he drives it to left field. Deep, 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 and caught. But it does move the runner from second to third. That was almost a 3-run shot by Bissonette. Harlan Clift at the plate. Runners on the corners. 1 away. Here comes the pitch from Doc White. Driven deep, and that one, oh, another outstanding play by an AL outfielder. It will cash in a run, but left fielder Joe Medwick made the play of the game so far. Diving catch. Tie game 4-4, 2 away for Vada Pinson. Drives 1 to first base, steps on the base, and that will do it as we head to the bottom of 8. 4-4 game, 10 hits for the NL, 9 hits, 2 errors for the AL. And they get nothing in the bottom of the 8th. We go to top of 9. We'll play it out. Tony Meow at the plate. He hits a short 1-2. Oh, does he beat it out? Yes, he does. Tony the Cat Meow with a single. Rookie of the Year candidate Ross Barnes takes a walk. Runners on first and second. Doc White still in the game. Garcia Parra at the plate. He drives 1 to right field. That is going to fall. Here comes the runner from third, safe. And the NL take a 5-4 lead. Well, look at that. Pug Bailey, user created Pug Bailey in the game. Al Smith at the plate, no one out. He drives 1 into the gap, and the right fielder grabs it for the first out of the inning. How about user created Lisich? Lisich, 31 years old, from New York. By the way, the All-Star game is being played in Chicago this year, and he drives that one out of the park. A 349 dinger. Kids, grab your jackets because we're going for ice cream. Lee Sitch, user-created player, gives the NL an 8-4 lead. Wilson at the plate had a single last at bat, and he flies out 2 away. The NL with a commanding 8-4 lead as we head to the bottom of 9. User-created Nick Charman looking for the win. He's pitched 2 innings, no walks, no strikeouts, but Joe Medwick's at the plate. He drives the ball into center field. It's deep, but not deep enough. That is going to be caught by Tony the Cat Meow. Bill Melton at the plate, 1 away. He drives one to shortstop. Can he beat it out? No, they get him. Strong play by Garcia Parra. Last hope for Al Bumbry. Here's the pitch. Bumbry drives one to first. Over to first goes Sharman. And your NL All-Stars win the 1927 All-Star Game. 8-4. So I was close on the score, just had the wrong team. Lee Sitch is the player of the game. Nick Charman went 3 innings to take the win. Doc White, 8 innings, takes the loss. For your AL losing All-Stars, Vince Whirlwind went 2 for 3. Joe Medwick, 2 for 4. And Al Bumbry in the 9 slot went 3 for 4. For the NL, a home run by Lee Sitch in the 9th inning off Pug Bailey. We also had 4 RBIs for Lee Sitch. King Kelly, 2 for 2. And Harlan Cliff playing third base, 2 for 3 with an RBI. There we go. The NL win 8-4. I'm going to save this game. We don't want a glitch. And next time we go into getting the game action, we will finish the season. We will get our World Series winner, and we will have our draft. So there's our former World Series champions. Again, if you want to get in the game and participate and have a player as we play these seasons out, make sure you fill out the Google form. All right, let's go to our start screen. My Twitch is glitching out again. Did we just have an ad break recently? Because it showed me an ad break was about 5 minutes away, and now it's showing me it's 20 minutes away. Let us get involved in one more tournament. Thank you again for the recent followers. We have IBDB2U. Thank you so much for the follower. You are follower 525. Thank you. Blazer Trek. Love that name, Blazer Trek 60. Not sure if the 60 is a birth year and you're a boomer. Close to my age. A little bit older if you are. And Rev Sober. Or Revs Ober. Thank you for the follow 8 minutes ago. And for all of you guys watching, we still have one from Brazil. We have one from Colombia. Also, we have one from New Zealand. Wow. First time I've seen someone from New Zealand. If you can hear this and you're in the chat, what time is it in New Zealand right now? It must be like, what, 8 in the morning or 4 in the morning? Also still have one Belgium watcher, 4 from Germany, 18 from Canada, and close to 100 from the US. So what a global game we have going on here. Hang in there, guys. We will do our giveaway in about 5 minutes here, and then we are going to go and raid into EVC as he will start his much anticipated theme team wrap up. So we'll raid into him when he goes live in about 10 minutes. In the meantime, I've got a perfect draft coming up tomorrow morning. So the one I have this afternoon, I botched that one, ran out of time. We are going to one more time try it and see if we can get our perfect draft completed. Then we're going to do the draw. So the draw will be as soon as we finish this draft here. This is modern era and the DH is being used. And of course, there is no draft button, which sometimes happens. If you do not get the draft button, typically what you have to do is exit OOTP, which I'm going to have to do. You're going to have to quit the program. So this is a learning opportunity. You quit the program. It brings my beautiful Blue Jay hat back up on the screen as we wait for the program to reload. Again, OOTP is undergoing maintenance right now, so if you're having any difficulties with it, that's probably why. Log back in. Hope your Monday's going well. Start of a new work week for many of you. And we're going to click on Perfect Draft. And let's try this again. There we go. We'll see if it gives me the button to draft this time. So Perfect Draft is all perfect cards. You get a selection of 100 rated historical and live cards. But you know what? You probably want to ignore the live cards. All right, feel free to add your opinions in here as I draft. I am going to try and fly through this one. Yogi Berra, I love as a catcher in my league because he's got really good ability, which I think helps frame pitches, and I think it makes your pitchers better. I really do. I think having a top-tier catcher will make your pitchers better. That's my belief. So I'm going to take Yogi Berra and Mel Ott. Trey Turner would be a close second choice there. Next up, well, I'm going to take Warren Spahn and Jackie Robinson. I don't like Paul Molitor. I don't like the Cooperstown version of Paul Molitor. Yes, Jackie. Not as good as he used to be. And there is a better version of him that C. Witt won in his championship. But still a useful card. I don't like many of these. I'm going to take Austin Riley. And these are pretty ugly. I'm going to take Bobby Jenks and hope for a better shortstop later. Not getting the top cards early on. Going to take Johnny Cochran as my backup catcher to Yogi Berra, and I'm going to go with, got to take a pitcher. In the modern era, you want to try and get probably 12 pitchers. You might get by with 11, but if you go 7 games and 7 games and 7 games, you might be a little fatigued. So take your chances with 11 or be safe with 12. Easiest choice of the draft so far. Otto Gibson. And you may saying, Lap, You've already got 2 catchers. Doesn't matter. It's Josh freaking Gibson. You're not going to pass up on Josh Gibson. I came second in a draft with 4 catchers because I had 2, and then Gibson came up, had to take him. Williams and George Brett. Walter Johnson, for sure. Don't really like any of the others, but I don't have a shortstop yet, so I'm going to take Pop Lloyd. Don't like Robin Yount. Oscar Charleston, for sure. And let's go Dizzy. Got 2 catchers, got 2 third basemen. Everything up is open for grabs. Newhouser and Dizzy Dean. Yeah. And once you get the bad Ohtani, you know you're not getting the other Ohtani. Like when you get the bad Schmidt, it's like, oh, now they're not going to give me the good Schmidt because they never give you the same player twice because obviously you can't draft them twice. You can't have 2 Mike Schmidts on your team. Yikes, this is ugly. Where is Ty Cobb? Where's Rogers Hornsby? Where's Mike Schmidt? The good Mike Schmidt, not that one. This might be the worst set of cards I've seen in a perfect draft. 9 pitchers. I need another second base and a shortstop. Wow, this is not good. And utility. Martin for utility. Come on, give me something good to end off here. 2 live. Well, I do need 2 pitchers. Max Scherzer. And I have no choice. I would love Eddie Collins, but I can't go with 10 pitchers. It's not going to work. I love Brooks Robinson, but I only have 10 pitchers. Do I gamble with 10? Can my third baseman play anywhere else? Did I win one with 10 pitchers? All right, Luke. Did I win a perfect draft with 10 pitchers? All right. Good enough. Yeah, I simply score 20 runs, win in 4 games, give my pitchers a rest, and the rest will be history. All right, I'm going to do the lineup setting off stream because we are running out of time. EVC will be hopping on in about 5 minutes. So I am going to transition over to my main screen again. That was not a very good draft, although I did get Josh Gibson, and sometimes he can definitely make the difference. I did not realize, Luke, that I won a perfect draft with 10 pitchers. Was that recently, or was that a long time ago? I can't even remember anymore. You participate in all these drafts, you can't even remember. All right, we are about to do our draw. 2 of you will win 10 standard packs. Yes, 2 of you. We're going to share the wealth like we always do. And if you do win, make sure I get your username. Either whisper me on Twitch or put it in the chat here and give it between 24 and 48 hours for the packs to arrive. They might show up today. They might show up tomorrow. I will send them on to the OOTP team. So let me just set it up here. We're not ready to start yet. Last time we had 48 entries. Nice. All right, guys, we are underway. The draft is, or not the draft, the contest is underway. Exclamation enter, exclamation ticket. We will give it about 3 or 4 minutes. We'll give you some time. And as I always do, as you guys are entering, I will close off the show with a thank you, a big thank you for all of you that followed Nazbase, Rev Sober, John 1633, Blazer Trek, all of you followers today. Thank you so much. John, you are number 530. Wow, 530. Thank you so much for the follows. Thank you for tuning in. I am back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern. It is a great day for baseball. It is. Go play some OOTP. If you're at work, boot it up when you get home. Play it in the car if you're not driving. Again, be kind to each other and to yourself. Take care of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, it's hard to take care of others. Again, many people are struggling as we are in this cold winter season. And soon we are going to raid. We are going to go over to EVC. So make sure you give him some love. Give him a follow if you haven't already. And again, we will be back tomorrow where we will open packs. Yes, tomorrow will be a pack opening episode. So stay tuned. Let's see if we can get some of those Plat 4 before they're taken out in a couple weeks.